Elon Musk's SpaceX just bought Cursor, the AI coding tool millions of developers open every day, for $60 billion. Which raises the obvious question, in 2026, which AI coding agent should you actually use? Cursor, Claude Code, or Codex? No hype, no fanboy takes. Just the real benchmarks, the real prices, and the catch nobody mentions. Let's settle it. Start with the news that changed the board. On June 16th, SpaceX agreed to acquire Anysphere, the company behind Cursor, for $60 billion in stock. Not a funding round. A takeover. It's the largest acquisition of a venture-backed startup in history, and it landed just 4 days after SpaceX itself went public. The tool you code in is now part of Elon's empire. $60 billion. To put that in scale, Cursor reached roughly $4 billion in annual revenue in under 4 years, most of it from enterprise teams. That growth is exactly why SpaceX paid a record price. The deal is expected to close in the third quarter. But the price isn't the interesting part. What SpaceX gets is... Here's the part developers should sit with. SpaceX isn't really buying a text editor. It's buying 3 things: the talent, xAI's compute to run it, and the data. Every prompt, every accepted suggestion, every code base that flows through Cursor is training fuel, and reporting points straight at it feeding Grok, xAI's model. The tool you trusted with your private code now answers to the company building a rival AI. So who are the contenders? Cursor is the AI native editor, you write inside it, and the AI lives in your workflow. Claude Code is Anthropic's command line agent, it works in your terminal, runs tools, and edits whole projects. And Codex is OpenAI's agent, powered by GPT 5.5. 3 different shapes, 1 job, ship code faster. Now let's score them on something that isn't marketing. This is where a no-hype channel earns its name. Terminal Bench is one of the toughest tests there is. It measures whether an agent can actually finish real, multi-step engineering tasks on its own. So how do the top agents score? Spoiler, the gap between first and second is almost nothing. Codex, running on GPT 5.5, leads Terminal Bench 2.1 at 83.4%. Claude Code, on Anthropic's Fable 5, follows at 83.1%. 0.3 of a point. That's not a winner and a loser, that's a coin flip. One honest caveat, Fable 5 is currently pulled offline over export controls, so right now Claude Code runs on Opus for 0.8 instead. Raw capability is basically settled. Which means the decision isn't about the score. Because the leaderboard winner isn't always the tool people reach for. AI coding has gone from edgy to universal. About 97% of developers now use it in some form. But adoption follows habit, trust, and what's already wired into your workflow, not a benchmark by 0.3 of a point. Case in point, GitHub Copilot, which now powers Codex-style agents inside GitHub, is still the default for around 83% of developers. Claude Code has surged to roughly 63% and is climbing fast. Cursor owns the AI editor crowd. Nobody has a monopoly. The tool that wins a benchmark and the tool that wins your Monday morning are often not the same tool. And there's a cost most comparisons skip. In 2026, the flat rate era ended. On June 1st, GitHub Copilot switched to usage-based billing. You now pay for the tokens your agent burns. Anthropic split Claude's plans the same way. Agents are expensive to run because they read and write enormous amounts of text. So the real price of an agent isn't the sticker, it's how many tokens it chews through to finish your task. Take Cursor specifically, now that the deal is signed. On the plus side, it's still the smoothest AI editor out there, with a huge user base and, soon, XAI supercomputers behind it. The catch: your code may help train a competitor's model. The pricing and terms could change once SpaceX owns it, and you're betting your daily workflow on one company's ecosystem. That trade-off is yours to weigh, and not mine to decide for you. So, the verdict. The honest one. There is no single best AI coding agent in 2026. Anyone who tells you otherwise is selling something. The top tools are tied on capability. The right pick comes down to who you are and what you're optimizing for. Here's the cheat sheet. If you're a solo dev or a small team and you want the fastest, smoothest experience, Cursor or Codex are hard to beat. If you're in an enterprise where safety, review, and terminal control matter, Claude Code is built for you. And if the idea of your code training someone else's model bothers you, the real move is an open-weight model you run yourself. Match the tool to your priorities, that's the whole game. Here's the takeaway. At the top, capability is a tie 83.4 versus 83.1. So stop choosing on the leaderboard. Choose on the things that actually affect your week, what you trust with your code, what it costs at your real usage, and what fits the way you already work. The score is settled. The decision is personal. So I'll hand it to you. Now that Elon Musk owns Cursor and your code might train Grok, are you switching agents, or staying put? Tell me which one you ship with, and why, in the comments. I'm the Shipyard, and I test the tools so you don't have to guess. Subscribe for no hype AI news for developers, and I'll see you in the next one.